I didn't know that the three other employees from HR had called off that day when the remaining employee came out of her office in a panic and said to me, "The system just crashed. What do I do?" And I said, "Call the IT guy." And she blank stared at me for a second and said, "Okay, who's that?" And then I laughed at her and I walked away. I'm the IT guy and everybody knows it. I didn't realize that her brain had stopped working. There are all kinds of laws and restrictions on knuckle dusters. Brass knuckles are the most common, the ones you see in all the movies, but unless they're made of brass, they're not brass knuckles. This one is made of aluminum and it's multifunctional because it also has a bottle opener, which is really gross because you get the blood of the bad guy in your beer. Die-cast metal toy handcuffs in the 80s were basically crappy made real handcuffs with a quick release button made of metal that was real easy just to bend back and forth until it broke, and then you had real handcuffs. But when I was 21, I went and bought another set for date night. It was her idea. She was 31, recently divorced, and super excited about being with a guy 10 years younger than her. And that button wasn't there. In fact, it wasn't a button at all. It was all built in there that you would have to destroy the handcuffs in order to get it to work. So I think toy handcuffs are actually toy handcuffs now. It was me, the guy who had an issue with me, and the HR manager were all in a meeting. And I knew that the moment I was done talking, the guy who had an issue with me was going to object. So as soon as I was done, I said to the HR manager, "You look sharp today." And I said to him, "Wouldn't you agree?" And he goes, "No, whoa." And the HR manager was pissed. She said to me, "I told you to stop doing that." I'm autistic. I don't like sticky on my hands. But I'm also not dumb, so I know that all of these jars are probably sticky. But that's okay, because I've got gloves on. And I can enjoy honey like regular people. Even with my back to the door, and no matter where I was in my workspace, I would always turn around when someone walked in, and no one could figure out how I knew that. They would try to sneak up on me, but I would always know, and I would turn around. I put a really loud clock just outside of my workspace, and if that ticking ever got quieter, that's when I knew somebody was coming up on me. I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder. If I catch the wrong vibe from you, even accidentally, like I interpret it wrong, you're never going to recover from that. And there's nothing you or I can do about it. If you're old like me or older, and you have accepted the fact that you were lied to your whole life about how dangerous marijuana really is, that song by Bob Dylan that you were looking for is called Rainy Day Women, number 12 and 35. Because of how I was raised, when I would go pick up my daughter at school, I would see that she would be with a group of friends, and I would just kind of go stand where she could visually see me and just kind of catch her attention a little bit so she would know that I was looking for her, that she could come on. But sometimes she'd be like, "Hey, come over here, I want you to meet my friends." I'd be like, "Oh, shit, I got caught."